Well, maybe just kind of what's the approach been with the group here, going over some of the things over the last 2 days that you've been talking about, both with us and I'm sure with them.
Yeah, I think for us, it's you build off the good things that they've done in the prior two games, and then try to make it a little bit more consistent as we go. So it's a little bit of embracing the hard parts of the game. That'll be a bit of a focus for us tonight.
Well, and I'd imagine, when you look back on that Pittsburgh game, it's easy to focus in on the early part of the third, but if you could get yourself back into a position that you were through 40 minutes, you take that 10 times out of 10.
5-on-5 in particular, like I thought we did a pretty good job 5-on-5 of limiting zone time for them and limiting their chances. Third period got away from us, and that's something that we have to fix and be better for if we find ourselves in that same situation here again tonight. But as always, when you're on the road in tough buildings like this, you want to make sure you have a good start.
I know you had some changes to your forward lines. I wanted to ask you about. Don't think I got a chance to ask you after the game, but your fourth line and what you got. I thought kind of generated a few when you were said as 5-on-5 before the penalty started in that first. What did you get from that line?
A lot. I think that line, when you look at it, was probably our most consistent, and you could almost say our best line as a threesome. So I think the size of that line, they can all skate. They have an idea of what their identity is right now, and if we can continue them going in that direction, that's a great thing for us.
Yeah.
You were talking about the mental mistakes in the third period the other night, and not that you want that to happen, but generally from a league perspective, is that fairly common to see maybe an increase of that, especially early in a season?
It happens. I mean, you look at some of the scores around the league, like there are some higher scores to start with, and that's due to some mistakes where people are trying to figure things out for sure. But I think for our team, it's making sure that we're learning that we have to play a certain pace of the game for a full 60 minutes. And that's something that we have to do early on. So we want to be the team that cranks it up, not the team that when it gets cranked up, we have to respond. So we want to make sure we're ready for pace for a full 60 minutes.
So to your point there, you mentioned this in the preseason, I believe, too, where especially with a lot of the young guys playing, when that pace ramps up and it gets hard, it gets hard. That's still something, even with a veteran group, that you do have to reinforce early in a season?
For sure. And eventually you want them to take it on their own. But for now, that's a coach's responsibility to make sure they understand how the game's going to be and how hard it's going to be. And then from there, you want to trust your players and make sure they get out there and they do the job we need them to do.
And then I assume embracing that too, because you're going up against good players on the other side. You want your guys to enjoy that moment and hopefully try to outperform in that case.
Absolutely. Very similar to what we saw the other night. I mean, these guys have won recently, so they have a lot of guys that understand the hard part of the game, and that's where it goes back to my first comment is our guys have to embrace that part of it for sure.